really somewhat of a vehicle oxymoron, isn't it? A Mulsanne to drive alternatively than to be motivated in. However, that is merely what Bentley maintains the Mulsanne Speed is. And while a near enough 3-ton limo that is also a driver's car seems a faintly preposterous proposition, the flip side is a 530 bhp, sub 5.0 seconds to 0 to 62 miles per hour, 250, 500 car. Of course, such a posh wedge of automotive real estate should be special to drive. And people who love cars will want to drive this opulent thing. So, what's wrong with making an edition of the Mulsanne that serves for them? Even so, the initial we need to address here is one of expectations. The Bentley might choose to illustrate the Mulsanne Speed as a driver's car, somewhat like Porsche might identify its Cayman GT4 as a driver's car. Most this means is the fact somebody needs to have a take a seat with Bentley's marketing people and describe why they should be a little bit more imaginative. Let's face it, there are driver's cars, and then there are cars that are memorable, enjoyable, spectacular, even, to drive. If it will the job well, this is merely ever going to get caught in the latter category, and that's more than sufficient to delight us. Naturally, with 811 pounds-foot from 1,750 revolutions per minute, a quick getaway is properly easy. A stupendously rapid one, if you desperately want it. But everything from the soft throttle response and long pedal travel to the sheer mass surrounding you makes those sort of antics feel frankly vulgar. Entertaining, certainly, because there is an edge of irrelevance to the Mulsanne Speed. A brief glimpse of ordinary and roll exuberance anywhere in the mutter of that V8, the chirp of the tires as you make the Chacarero getaway, the landslide of torque that sweeps you through the short-lived Push range. Then, of course, once the buzz has worn out, you can twist the button into comfort mode and enjoy the sublime refinement. This kind of is very where the Bentley Mulsanne excels. Bentley reckons that the fancy tire technology should cut noise in the cabin by 4 decibels, and bear in mind that the pre-facelift Mulsanne was hardly raw. Now, less than some unfathomably complicated light buttons and a fruit pan on the dashboard, it's like tooling around in a posh hotel suite. Hit a constant motorway stride, and engine and tire noise pass away right down to a near inaudible background thrum. Wind flutter is the only thing that dares to intrude on your consciousness as the Bentley punches a hole through the air. Still, there are other areas where the Mulsanne acceleration has really shifted. Particularly in the multimedia area, where you'll now find a new 8.0 in infotainment touchscreen nestled in the dashboard. Before we have to that, we're going to mention that we would like fewer buttons existing through the dashboard, since it can easy to get somewhat flustered by the large number of switches. And it doesn't look too pretty, either. But it can still a lavish treat associated with an interior, and the redesigned seats are wonderful, just soft enough without being armchair-like, supportive in all the right areas, adjustable to a first tee, and absolute satisfaction. I want one away of my living room. As the plethora of buttons looks somewhat old school, that new infotainment is quite the opposite and is also one of the most significant updates to the facelifted Mulsanne range. The anatomies, graphics and layout are bespoke, and very stylish they are, too, and between the touchscreen, rotary button and voice control, is actually easy to find your way around the various functions.